Mom, I haven't received my allowance for this month yet. What is this all about? I thought we had an agreement. You give me $3,000 a month and I'll stop disturbing you. What kind of a mother are you? You promised me that you would help me with my financial situation, and now you're backing out? I can't believe you would do this to me, to your own son.
Permit me to allay your concerns, Samuel. I did indeed transfer the sum of money as promised. Since today is the weekend, your payment will be delayed until Monday morning. Please take a moment to reflect before making any rash judgments.
Fine, I'm giving you one more chance, but don't you dare screw me over or you'll regret it.
In addition, I'm aware that you were in need of the money I promised you, but I would appreciate it if you would stop constantly reminding me about it. I'm not simply referring to your numerous texts and calls. You also showed up at my workplace and caused a scene. You even attempted to vandalize my house and bribe some delinquents to attempt to steal my handbag while I was walking to work. Seriously. If an outsider were to observe our interactions, they would likely conclude that we are connected by financial interests rather than by blood. I earnestly ask of you, Samuel, as your mother, that I deserve your trust and respect.
Come on, trust and respect. Stop daydreaming and get back down on earth, old woman. Let's not forget that the only thing that seems to bring us together as mother and son is your money. Now back to the main point. The amount remains the same as usual, correct?
As I said many times, I never go back on my promises. I would appreciate it if you would stop asking me questions that you already know the answer to. But in all seriousness, you should really cease squandering the money I send you on frivolous items such as alcohol and cigarettes. They are slowly killing you from the inside and damaging your health. I'm saying this out of my genuine concern about your well-being. I'm really perplexed as to why you do not use the money I give you for a beneficial purpose, such as saving for your future.
Who do you think you are to presume to dictate my actions? Don't even dream of believing that you hold a higher position than me simply because you send me those paltry coins. I wager that you believe yourself to be a savior for providing me with that pitiful sum of money. In actuality, you are merely afraid of me disrupting your personal life. What a pathetic mother you are.
Samuel, you're already in your 30s, but you're still unable to find a decent job and stand on your own 2 feet. Don't you think it's about time you started getting your act together to actually live a more meaningful life? Are you content to live as a dependent indefinitely with no plans to ever become self-sufficient?
Please, stop your incessant complaining and nagging about my unemployment. The fact that I don't have a job at this moment doesn't imply that I'm inadequate. Those brainless employers simply fail miserably to see my true potential. Anyways, I have no intention of finding a job again, as I've already given up on the stupid idea about 10 years ago.
Honey, it's because you weren't trying hard enough and you gave up so quickly. If you put in more effort, I'm sure that you'll land a job eventually. However, if you insist on continuing to be unemployed, what'll you do to support yourself financially when I'm no longer able to do so?
I have thought it all through. Why do I even need to have some stupid job if I already have you paying my bills and fork over some bucks whenever I need? It doesn't make any sense at all to me. In addition, it's inevitable that I will one day inherit your house and all of your other assets. After all, I'm your only son. Who else would you give it to? A complete stranger? I don't believe you are foolish enough to do such a thing, unless you intend to take your house and money with you to the grave, which is an impossibility. So quit badgering me about my job search. You're such a pain in the neck. You know that?
Samuel, I am baffled by your current behavior. I distinctly recall raising you to be a kind-hearted and loving individual, not an ungrateful child who only cares about money and a comfortable life. When did this change occur? I beseech you to alter your ways before it's too late, lest you be consumed by our own insatiable desire for material possessions and a life of leisure that's devoid of any real meaning.
Gosh, you're such a nuance, and I bet you aren't even conscious of it. Dad was totally right in leaving a cantankerous and querulous woman like you for another woman. I would have done the same thing if I had been in his position. Is it necessary for me to remind you of the money that my father used to send you on a monthly basis before I reached the age of majority? It was intended for me. However, you had the audacity to use it for your own selfish needs. And now you're calling me out for being a materialistic person, huh? Hypocrite.
Son, I told you many times. Your dad refused to give me any money for child support. I was raising you with my own hard-earned money. Please believe in what I said.
Oh, please, spare me the act. Dad told me directly that he used to send you money every month to cover my living expenses. However, you chose to conceal this information from me. What a trashy mother. Consider yourself lucky that Dad didn't ditch you sooner.
Samuel, I ask you to trust me. I have always been truthful with you, and I'll continue to do so. In contrast, your father abandoned us for a wealthy woman without so much as a backward glance. He has since severed all ties with me. It's true that your father did not provide me with any financial assistance in raising you. As a result, I was solely responsible for all your needs.
Nice try playing the victim, but I'm not buying a single word you said. Dad disclosed to me the entirety of your unsavory deeds. You were the one who committed infidelity and allowed your marriage to fall apart.
Did your dad say that to you? That isn't true at all.
Just stop talking. I'm not interested in hearing your attempts to defend yourself. Old woman! Your repeated tardiness in depositing money into my bank account is driving me crazy. I made repeated attempts to contact you via telephone and text message, but my efforts were met with silence and a continuous busy signal. I went to your house and banged on your door like a madman, but you still refused to answer. I even made a trip to your workplace, but you were nowhere to be found. Explain to me what's going on right now. Are you trying to avoid your duty as a mother?
Oh, honey, please calm down. I'm currently at a hospital, recuperating from the injuries I sustained when I was struck by a motor vehicle several days ago. I'm sorry for not having been able to send you the money on time, as the circumstances that transpired were beyond my control. I hope you understand and forgive me for that.
Oh, so you got yourself hit by a car. Serves you right. Well, it's a shame that you're still lucky enough to make it out alive. If not, I would get my hands on your inheritance by now. But look at the bright side. Now that you're still alive, you can return to work in a few days and continue to provide me with financial support as you have always done.
Samuel! How could you say that to your own mother? Your behavior is becoming increasingly aggressive and entitled. You know that? I'm your mother and I love you very much. However, your recent behavior has been causing me a great deal of stress and anxiety. I'm worried that if you continue to test my patience, I may say or do something that I'll regret.
You think you can just threaten me? I'm your son. I'm not afraid of you. If you so much as lay a finger on me, I'll call the cops and tell them you're abusing me. You'll go to jail and I'll take over your house. Come to think of it, that doesn't sound like a bad plan at all. Why didn't I think of it before?
Look, Samuel, I'm giving you a fair warning that if you persist in maintaining this mindset when communicating with me, I'll have no choice but to consider suspending the transfer of funds to your bank account. At that point in time, you will be without the assistance of others and required to devise your own method of managing your existence. It's about time you find a position of employment to independently support yourself, my son.
How many times do I have to tell you? I wasn't destined to toil away in a monotonous job that pays me so little that I can't even afford basic necessities such as toothpaste. I was born to experience the finer things in life, such as traveling the world in my own private jet, driving luxury cars, and being protected by a team of bodyguards.
I'm astounded by your words. Do you truly believe that you're saying? Is this the kind of thinking that your father has instilled in you? Samuel, you are deluding yourself. No one is handed an extravagant life on a silver platter. It's true that some people are born into wealthy families and have access to resources that others don't. Nevertheless, even these people cannot achieve success without hard work and dedication. They may have had a start, but they still have to put in the effort to reach the top. There's no such thing as a free ride to success, Samuel.
Blah, blah, blah. Spare me the lecture. Stop making it seem like it wouldn't be able to survive without your petty cash. If you're going to stop providing my financial assistance, then please do so. I no longer require your help, as I have found someone else to provide for me.
I'm curious to know which specific person you're referring to.
Well, I didn't waste my time and money for nothing, you know. In the hopes of finding someone who I could rely on financially, I made a habit of visiting all the establishments that are known to be frequented by the wealthy, such as private clubs, high-end restaurants, luxury hotels, or expensive sporting events. I must admit, I had to spend a considerable amount of money and even became indebted to be able to enter these places. But it was all worth it. After a long and arduous search, I finally found a woman who fit the bill. and her name is Christina.
Oh no, Samuel. I know how this is gonna go.
Although Christina's age is 10 years my senior, her fortune is something that's only wished for. Thus, I agreed to go out with her without giving it a second thought. We have dined at several upscale restaurants, and she has even invited me on luxurious vacations. Just a few days ago, she even promised to buy me a grand villa with a pool and everything. Isn't that crazy?
No, Samuel. I'm concerned that you are repeating the same mistakes as your father. Relying on others' wealth to sustain oneself is not a viable long-term strategy. I'm telling you, the opulent lifestyle you are currently enjoying won't endure indefinitely. Please, take heed of my warning before it's too late.
You're not my boss. I'm a grown man, and I can make my own decisions. If you want to cut me off, then go ahead, but don't think for a second that I'm going to beg you to stay in my life. However, I'll be present to claim my rightful inheritance on the day of your passing. Now that I have achieved a high social status, I no longer consider an impoverished mother like you to be part of my family. Just get lost and leave me alone. Hey, I stopped by your house earlier to say hi, but I was surprised to see that someone else opened the door. What was that all about? You're not living there anymore?
Why do you care about me all of a sudden? After 2 years of no contact, now you decided to show up? I made numerous efforts to get in touch with you, but you consistently ignored my calls and messages. I infer that you had completely erased me from your mind as you were engrossed in the lavish lifestyle that you shared with your girlfriend.
Come on, Mom. Is this how you greet your own son after a long period of not speaking to each other? That is extremely unkind of you. I just wanted to check how you were doing. That's all. You don't have to be so triggered by my question like that. However, let's return to our original topic. Did you relocate from your house?
Whether or not I moved out doesn't have anything to do with you, given that you have previously disowned me as your mother. I'm curious as to why I should bother explaining my living conditions to you. You're probably apprehensive about the prospect of not being able to claim my house as your own, correct?
Don't be so mean to me. Do you seriously want to sever all ties with me? No way. You wouldn't be heartless enough to do such a thing, would you? Well, I don't even need you to answer my question to know what it is. You were forced to sell your house in order to obtain money to pay off your debt. But please, do correct me if I'm mistaken.
What? How did you find out about that?
Your colleagues told me everything. They said that you have a considerable amount of debt that you're struggling to take care of. The loan sharks repeatedly showed up at your workplace and created disturbances. Especially, you were also terminated from your job due to your association with them. I seriously don't understand. What on earth did you need so much money for? I mean, your Spartan lifestyle doesn't appear to require a vast amount of money to uphold.
It's none of your concern, Samuel. Please mind your own business.
Honestly, your incompetence is so profound that you couldn't even manage to keep a low-paying job. Yet, you were the one who was harping on about my inability to get a job. How pathetic you are. I wouldn't be too surprised if you're currently residing in a small, poorly lit dwelling, existing in a state of squalor and filth like a rat in a sewer.
Samuel, if you don't have anything nice to say, then I suggest you don't say anything at all. I have enough things to worry about in my life, and I surely don't want to deal with your mockery. Like you said before, we are no longer mother and son, and as such, we must each forge our own path in life. Just live your life like you're doing right now and forget about me. That's for the best.
I really don't understand your hostility towards me. I'm not your enemy, I'm your son. I'm just curious about your current situation and thinking of sending you some pity money if you behave well. But based on what you just said to me, you deserve to live in destitution for the rest of your life.
I'm not beholden to your help, Samuel. I'm perfectly capable of handling everything on my own, as I have always done my whole life. I'd appreciate it if you would direct your attention away from me and towards your own affairs. I've been consistently self-sufficient. In fact, I didn't utter a single word of protest, even when I had to provide you with financial assistance in the past.
Come on, don't act so high and mighty. I know that you're worried sick about your debt. You probably can't even sleep at night due to the constant fear of the moneylenders who continue to threaten your personal life. Look, I'm extending to you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work as my housekeeper. The position is specifically for you, and I'm confident that you would be a valuable asset to my household. Of course, you won't get a single penny from me, but in return, I'm offering you the opportunity to live in a luxurious mansion, which I'm aware is only possible in your wildest dreams.
Now you're asking your own mom to work as your housekeeper for free? What you're talking about is a clear example of familial exploitation and abuse. You know that? I feel ashamed of you for even considering it. I'm deeply disappointed in the person you have become, Samuel. You have strayed from the values and principles that I once held dear to you. If you continued on this path, you will unavoidably befall dreadful consequences.
Don't try to scare me, old hag. I'm currently living a life of such great abundance and prosperity that I'm at a loss as to what more I could possibly want. Anyways, I had previously made you an offer to become my housekeeper, but you turned it down. So don't blame me for not lending you a helping hand. It's such a shame. You would make a perfect housekeeper and do a great job in keeping my house clean. You'll surely wish you had made a different decision today. When that time comes, don't even consider crawling back to me and begging for my help. I wouldn't care in the slightest if I saw you searching through garbage on the streets. Old lady, where are you? I'm in big trouble. I really need your help right now, so please answer me.
Trouble? What are you talking about? The extravagant lifestyle that you currently enjoy is still not satisfactory to you?
No, it's not that, but some unfortunate events have happened to me recently. Can you believe it? My girlfriend, Christina, is already married to another man. I can't imagine that she would hide such a thing from me. Upon discovering that Christina had been having an affair with me, her husband unleashed a torrent of violence upon me. He punched me in the face and threatened to kill me if I ever came near his wife again. I can attest to the fact that I wasn't aware of Christina's marital status. She deliberately concealed it from me, and I was completely under the impression that she was single.
I had repeatedly cautioned you, Samuel, but you consistently disregarded my counsel. All things come at a price, and wealth that wasn't earned through hard work and sacrifice will eventually come crashing down. The path you have chosen has led you to this point, and you are the only one who can deal with the consequences of your actions.
Mom, you gotta help me. Christina has cast me aside and has taken back the house that she gave me. I have nowhere to go, Mom, and I really don't want to go back to my old slum. I have settled debts, and if I return to my old neighborhood, the loan sharks will not cease to pester me.
Last time I remember, you were mocking me for getting involved with those unscrupulous moneylenders.
I am aware that I made a significant error, and I apologize for it. Please, Mother, I am begging you. I know that I wronged you, and I would do anything to make it up to you. May I stay at your place? We are mother and son, are we not? I know that you wouldn't wish for any harm to come to me.
You know what, Samuel? I plan to help you pay off all your massive debt. However, I've come to the conclusion that it's time for you to take responsibility for your own problems. I was kind enough to sell my house and move into a smaller one to help you pay the lion's share of your debt. Now, it's time for you to take matters into your own hands and settle the remaining. I will no longer be helping you.
What? So you were the one who helped me pay off the majority of my loan? I thought it was Christina. The loan sharps claimed that a middle-aged woman had come to them and assisted me to pay off my debt. I never imagined that it was you. Despite how I treated you, you still decided to sell your own house and help me anyway?
I have never stopped considering you my son, regardless of how you have disappointed me. You will always be my one and only son. I am cognizant of the fact that your father spoke ill of me to you, which caused you to misunderstand my true self. As a result, I'm not placing blame on you for your actions. I'm hopeful that you have learned from your mistakes and will now attempt to stand on your own 2 feet. What you're currently dealing with is not easy, but it's something you must go through in order to live a better life. Samuel, in a state of confusion, confronted his father, who eventually confessed that everything he had ever said about me was a fabrication. Having learned the full circumstances, my son took some time to ponder on his misdeeds. Ultimately, he resolved to make amends, beginning with finding employment. While it wasn't initially simple for Samuel, as his job applications were repeatedly rejected, he was eventually accepted as a cashier in a supermarket. Through sheer hard work and unyielding determination, Samuel was able to extricate himself from his debt after nearly 2 years. However, he still maintained his distance from me due to his shame over what he had done to me. As a result, we only communicated on rare occasions. Every day after work, I would find beautiful flowers or small gifts on my doorstep. I knew that this was Samuel's way of apologizing to me, and it filled my heart with an infinite sense of warmth. I'm immensely grateful that I was able to help Samuel transform into a better man. While being a single mother has been challenging, I'm aware that Samuel was also experiencing significant emotional trauma when his father abandoned him in search of new happiness. I comprehend this and empathize with Samuel's actions. However, it's essential to not allow the errors we've made to define us. We cannot alter the past, but we can look forward to the future with our heads held high and a strong will to correct our mistakes. As a mother, I will always have my arms wide open, prepared to welcome Samuel back into my life whenever he feels ready.